Hi folks, I'm doing this video for the students that are stuck at home today and also for the parents who want to see what actually took place at the Ron Clark Academy that myself, Miss Reeves, and Miss Roberson went to last week. It was really cool. Now you see I've got the title there, Here Be Dragons. Here Be Dragons back in the days of the old ship days, we're talking 1700s and whatnot. If you had a map of the ocean and you had parts of the ocean that were unexplored and considered to be dangerous, on the map they would write, Here Be Dragons, because the ships that went there and didn't come back, well, they assumed the dragons got them. And the Ron Clark Academy, they went into unexplored regions. They did some amazing stuff, and they dig it with the dragon theme. Now, one of the big concepts behind the Ron Clark Academy is what you see right here, that you cannot demand a withdrawal from someone you've never invested in. And that's a big push that they really invest in their kids. They expect the teachers to invest in their kids. They even expect the parents to invest in their kids, which I know that sounds crazy. I say even expect. Here's what they expect out of the parents. They expect the parents to spend 40 hours every year volunteering at the school. That's one of the requirements. If your child goes to the Ron Clark Academy, you as a parent has to invest a 40 hours of volunteering at the school to help them be the amazing place that they are. Moving forward from there, let's see if I can get this PowerPoint to work. Boom, what do we have here? So before you think, well, they're getting to handpick all of their students and whatnot, and know exactly what's coming and just pick the best of the best, according to Ron Clark, only about 1 out of 10 students in the school is considered gifted. About a third of the kids that they have are going to fall into the general ed. About a third of the kids are going to have discipline issues, they said. And about a third of the kids are what would be categorized as special ed, having either an IEP or a 504. Also, most of these kids don't come from money. 70% of the kids in this school come from a household income of less than $24,000. There's got to be government subsidies going along there to help float the family so they can put food on the table. I just can't even begin to fathom in the United States a household income of under $24,000. How do you live? I don't get it. Now, as I said, they had a dragon theme, and this is what was greeting us on the archway going into the school when we came. Pretty cool. Huge, beautiful, scary, three-dimensional dragon. And on the outside, we had the building that looks like you see right here. Now, some of what you're seeing here, you've got dragon scales manning the gate. And look at how beautiful this gate is here, and the eye of the dragon and the tick-tock thing for the clock. Really cool, really artistic stuff. And then you have Mr. Hat. I'm not sure who this fellow was, but every day he was out directing traffic in a really, we'll just call it a distinctive hat that he was wearing. That day was a pink hat, and the other day, I can't remember what it was, but it was another very distinctive hat that he had on. Now, moving from there, we went inside the courtyard. You see, the school was built in an old, I think it was a factory or warehouse. I'm pretty sure it was a factory that was in a really bad part of time. To quote the guy, Ron Clark, he said that when he went to tour the facility, it was filled up with what he said, his words, not mine, streetwalkers and drug addicts that were living in this old shambles of a factory. And he looked it around and he said, this is it. This is going to be my school. And people thought he was crazy, but he made amazing stuff out of it. You can look around the inside, and inside they've got this whole castle theme painted on the interior walls of the school. And from there, you've got, let's see if I get a change here. The dragon theme you see continues throughout the inside with some really cool paint going on. And I'm thinking, all right, yeah, this is cool. This is all right. But how cool can it really be inside? Stand by. Take a look at this. Inside, that is a dragon skeleton that they've got. It goes 2 stories tall. Pretty cool. They've got the staircase that has beautiful, massive photos of kids that have been at the school before. Really well done. archways with gates like you'd see on an old castle. And you see these two girls, you got one of them right here and one of them right here. They are dancing and singing, welcoming, yeah, words totally killing me, us to the school. Music is blasting from the speakers so loud you can't hear anybody speak. The whole school has an amazing sound system. I want that in our school because those of y'all that are in my class, you know I like my music. That's their cafeteria. Does those tables look like anything familiar? Maybe the Great Hall in Hogwarts? That's exactly what it looks like to me. And the kids are dancing on the tables, they're singing, they are having a great time welcoming us. I don't wish I had the picture of the slides. In Ron Clark Academy, they have two massive slides that come from the second level down to the first level. And the kids are allowed to use these slides at certain times to change levels. He said he had to go to 25 different insurance companies to find somebody that would be willing to insure his slides. And I'm not really surprised by that, knowing how insurance is, and sorry if any of y'all are lawyers, knowing how lawyers are always searching for that dollar out there. But they also had the base of the slides. There were these tube slides, and when we first walked in, there was a child standing on each tube down at the bottom, just dancing and singing and welcoming us for all they had. It was really amazing to see. Moving forward from there, those are paintings of kids that were painted into a more Renaissance theme of clothing, but it's former students that they had there. We've got there, you can see that whole dragon from the two-story, and to the left is a massive mirrored wall that you can see a reflection of that dragon in. We've got look at that beautiful red door. I mean, it just absolutely magical. And Dragon Alley that you see on the right there, it was a tunnel with lamps that were designed to look like torches. So you walk through this fiery torch-lit tunnel going from one of the main building sections to another main building section. Really cool place. Going from there, this is the center section of one of the buildings. And this open top is designed to look like a sky. It's not really open, it's all computer generated. It's designed to look like a sky. Ron Clark was searching for animators to create that sky, and he told them, I want dragons. I want really cool, vicious looking dragons like you have in the Game of Thrones. And somebody came back and said, well, for $20,000, we can give you 8 seconds of a cartoon dragon. And he's like, no. So he started actually messaging all the Game of Thrones social media accounts until one of them finally responded back to him and said, all right, meet me in this little chat room and we'll talk about it. And they designed his sky. But that's not all they designed. Check this out. We're going to hit my play button. And how's that for a cool dragon? I mean, wow. But you think that's cool? Wait till you see the next slide. So on my next slide, go to here and watch this. Stand by, it's coming. Wow. I mean, you can hear me in the background. Wow. I mean, I was just so amazed by what I was seeing there. And that was kind of theme went through the whole school. The interior decorating they did for this place, off the charts, really cool. Now we're going to move forward from there. Ron Clark, whose name is on the building, he built this place. He said the brain is a muscle. It needs practice. If you're not doing practice, you're not learning. And he was answering that question, I'm pretty sure, in reference to homework. Someone would say, well, research says that homework doesn't do anything to enhance learning. And he said, no, that's not what research says. Research says that homework in things like science and social studies, it doesn't do much to enhance reading and learning. But homework in math and reading, exponential growth if you're doing homework in math and reading. So math and reading, hey, I give you all that. Thank you, Mr. Reeds. Math and reading homework does make a big difference in
what's your location?
Hold on, let me turn that radio off. Make a big difference in learning. Now, this is Ron Clark's classroom I'm going to show you next. And this took place during, I can't remember when it was, but this is a math class. Watch this. So we're going to hit my play button. Maybe. There we go. And I have no idea why there's no sound on this. There should be sound. Maybe y'all can hear it and I can't. The kids are dancing on the tables. They're having a good time. And as soon as the music stops, boom, they know that's their signal that they all sit down and get ready to go on to the next thing. This is the actual classroom that he was in. Sorry, Mr. Prince, we're not painting your classroom to look like this. How is that for an awesome Star Wars theme? You can see the kids are down here in the center. And those tables they were dancing on, those things are rock solid. I went and checked them out. They are heavy, solid. You can't do that on the tables in my classroom. Everybody fall down and break their necks. Around it is stadium seating. And that stadium seating is for teachers like me and the community members to go in and see what they're doing. And we had to pay to be there, but that's part of paying for all the cool stuff they got going on in there. When the kids were asked questions, the kids didn't just sit in their desk and go, no, the kids had to stand and deliver. Check out this young man. It's a 5th grade student standing on a desk. Excuse me, standing on his chair. They also had some of the short ones, they'd stand on their desk and they would deliver. They would introduce themselves. They would face their audience. They would turn side to side. They would do what they refer to as stirring up dust, talk with their hands, and they'd make eye contact with the people that they were talking to. Really impressive how well spoken these kids were. We had some of them join us for lunch. They were absolutely unreal. Inside Clark's classroom, he had 2 smart boards. I want two screens. It's coming. Y'all wait. I bet we're going to get that. That's one of my big takeaways. I want to have a screen in my room where we have the lesson information presented, and I want another screen where I can go off to the side and say, all right, let's look at this problem, or let's talk about this thing y'all are asking about without having to go 42 steps on my computer to change screens. I want it. Not sure how we're going to get it yet. I want it. Just wait and see. Now, you think, all right, that problem that he has on the board, that's not terribly hard to do. Kids were doing it in their head, though. No pencil, paper, doing it in their head. Check out this problem, though. 5th graders were working that problem. 5th graders in their heads. They did it in their heads. He said that on average, that most of his instruction is 2 years ahead of the course of study. They're really pushing the kids there. They have high expectations of them there, and they do some pretty amazing things. Now, I'm going to take just a minute and stop this recording just to get another screen going. Be right back. And see, I'm back. Just wanted to break up that recording into a couple of sections. Now, next slide we're going to look at is the door to the art room. And the art room was set up in a Alice in Wonderland or Alice Through the Looking Glass theme. Check out that door. That's a pretty cool classroom door, isn't it? You had to walk through the books to get in there. And this is what the room looked like. Total Alice in the Wonderland theme. You got your cat, you got your I'm not sure who that dude was because it's been a long time since I did Alice in Wonderland. You got the caterpillar I remember from the story. Great art supplies up here on the shelves. Some slight art supplies on the desk. And you can see these are actually the student desks that we're sitting at right now. And when we would go in for tours, sometimes there'd be students in there working, and we would sit in these seats around the outside of the room in order to learn what they're doing there. Check out the ceiling art. True Alice Through the Looking Glass things, and this is my favorite thing in the whole room. They've got this set of cubbies up in the corner, and if you look real close, right there, that's rock climbing wall stuff. So the kids could climb the rock climbing wall to get into the cubbies. Really neat idea. I absolutely love it. Let's keep this going. Ron Clark said, I believe this was actually the Bearden lady, can't remember her first name, who is a co-owner of the place, and she said that kids need 70 to 90 minutes of physical activity daily, and they explained that this affects both mental health and ability. One of the rules for the teachers at Ron Clark is they have to have the students move every 10 minutes. They can't just sit there all day and take notes and they've got to be doing something physical every 10 minutes to keep the energy going and to keep the blood flowing. This is a social studies room. If you take and look on the walls in the background, look at that beautiful artwork they have on the walls, but those aren't all walls. Those are also electric window screens that come down, and they painted the window screens, and we're going to see what that looks like in a minute. I want to also take and point out this track here is an elevated deck that runs between the desk and up front, and the teachers stand on the desk. It really happens there. Pretty cool. Sounds like a math class I know of somewhere. But anyhow, some cool stuff is going on there. Now, he only had one smart board. Poor guy. I feel sorry for him. But it is social studies, not math, so I guess it's okay. And then here you can see those electric window blinds going up. And you can see the artwork that's painted on those window blinds. Just absolutely amazing, some of what they did there. Michael Bonner was one of the teachers that was there, and one of the quotes he had was, "Sometimes the light in you frustrates the demons in others." Now, as teachers, this actually happens to us. When I was a young, energetic teacher, I came in with these great ideas, and the kids loved me. Yeah, they actually loved me once, believe it or not. I was once almost, well, I was never a Miss, yeah, you know the science teacher, names escape me. I was never her, but I was the cool kid here once, and other teachers hated me for it because I was stealing their sunshine. Does that happen to middle school students? It absolutely does. Don't worry about their demons. Don't worry about them not having sunshine. You have the power to be amazing. Be amazing. Be just wonderful, okay? Keep it going. This is the language arts room. You can see you've got the students that would sit down in the center. Those are grown-ups right now, okay? And then you would have the balcony seating for going around. Really cool stuff. And this is the Michael Bonner guy here, I think, that's talking to us. No, I don't think that's another guy. That guy, he's really cool too. But, oops, hold on for the announcements. All right, announcements are done. This is the reading room. I believe this is a 4th grade class, and he had some great stuff going on. He really did. Really liked the concepts he was working with. Moving through here, you can take and see that let's see if I can get this to work. There you go. He had 2 smart boards as well. I love that. I really love that. And once again, you had seating around that the teachers and the visitors could sit in to see what was going on and what was making this school so awesome. Great place. He had some pretty cool rules. Just shine those on you for a second because we need to keep moving through them. Really like these concepts. Not going to spend time talking about it. Now this looks boring, doesn't it? Plain white walls. This was a science classroom. And they actually had 2 classrooms. You can see the wall had been right down the center here. They had 2 classrooms. They knocked down that center wall and connected. And that is what you see happening right here. They're in the process of making this one cool. They haven't got there yet, but it'll come. They did have some cool stuff there, like hooks to hang backpacks off of, so that you don't have backpacks all over the floor to try and kill your math teacher with. Let's see here. Hold on just a second. Sorry, had to respond to the wife there. Now, we've got a media room. Mr. McCartney would absolutely love this place. And we've got their gymnasium. Check out the dragon. Okay? Massive dragon. And when they score a goal, smoke comes out of it and its mouth glows red. Super cool stuff. In the corners, where we've got those big ugly boxes in our corners of the bleachers, look at that. Really cool seating to go in the corners of it. I loved it. And that's the floor. Fire. Cool. We like fire. Fire's cool. Their houses, they just like in Harry Potter, where they were divided into 4 houses. They're divided into 4 houses here, and Miss Reeves is wanting to incorporate that into our school, but she wants, get my math right, 6 houses. So what are we going to do here? Let's take a look at, that's your first set of houses. I'll let you pause it and read them if you want. This is your second set of houses. You can pause that and read it if you want to, but we're not spending any time talking about that. This is the auditorium, and you can see you got green seats, you've got blue seats, you've got red seats, and you've got black seats. Those corresponds to the different houses that they have, and they have their assigned seating there. You've got the seat ends are also for each row. Look how beautiful that is. Got the dragon eye and scales going on. Really cool stuff. And each end cap matches the color of the seats. Now, the first law of thermodynamics is, anybody know? Maybe a couple of you parents know. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only transferred. And according to Michael Bonner, we've got to demand that energy back from you. Your teachers pour into you all day long, and then you sit there. You got to give it back, guys. If you start returning that energy back to us, you're going to have more fun, and you're going to learn more. It's going to be awesome, and that's what my goal is with y'all for the rest of this year. Moving forward, there are even dragons in the John. Kid you not. Dragons everywhere in this place, all right? There's a couple of other little quick tips here. You've got a choice on how you let people affect you. Ron Clark talked a lot about how the United States is 41st in the world in math and science. And then he talked about this whole thing where the government released these videos of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, over our military bases. It's true. Google it. And he said you would have this thing just sitting there hovering over a military ship or a military base, and it just sits there, and then it goes, whoop, and it's gone. And our government said, we don't have the technology to do that. We don't know how they're doing it. It could be the Russians, could be the Chinese, we don't know. Or it could be the aliens. And either way, the United States, and he wouldn't say the aliens are coming, he would say the aliens is coming. Very plain spoken, loved it. He would harp on the fact that we're so far behind, and if the United States is going to catch up, if we're going to remain a world power, guys, we got to start valuing education. 41st in the world in math and science. That's pretty pitiful. Last thing I'm going to say is, there may have been some pretty awesome tacos involved, but we're not going to talk about this. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and got a lot out of it. Y'all have a great day. Look forward to seeing some great things in our school in the future.